Testing 1 2 3 test test test. Thank you everybody. Good morning. Testing 1 2 3 test 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 test.
Am I? Are you sure? Oh yeah.
Doing a little test here. Test test 1 2 3.
Oh.
Thank you, viewer. Just doing a little test. Testing 1 2 3 test test test.
Oh yeah, here we are, rabies. All right.
Okay.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Good morning, y'all. How is you? How y'all doing? You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question.
Driving force behind our increasing diversity.
Week. Who or what are you trying to hold together? Who or what are you trying to hold together? Amazing question, huh? Think about it. Who or what are you trying to hold together? Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, busy doing whatever you do, working out, laying up at a beach, home invasion, carjacking, beating up a white woman on the street knowing you're going to get away with it, snatching and grabbing. It's Thanksgiving and Christmas season now. A lot of blacks are snatching and grabbing their Christmas shopping. Whatever you're doing, or just laying up at the beach doing nothing. You could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Amazing. Don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on X, JLP Talk on X, and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. All right? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? And I do appreciate it. It's Tuesday. And for the new listeners, and for those who already know but need a little reminder, every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Sweet potato pie, but it was pumpkin disguising itself as a sweet potato.
I'm getting notes of sweet potato.
I'm going pumpkin.
Oh, come on.
Don't chew with your mouth open.
This has no taste.
Oh, come on.
I think you're foaming from the mouth if you have rabies, though, right?
You are foaming. Oh, he's so sad. You got Did you drink? Did you drink water today? Oh, anyway. What the?
I gotta leave the studio right now.
I don't even know why.
Sean, I hate what you do. What the? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. What? Nah. The anchor baby put that together, guys. The anchor baby did that? Oh, you did it. Very nice, man. Sean put that together. That one. Amazing. We would laugh. I mean, not Sean, but Hassan. Everybody's so amazed what they do around here. But that was Hassan. Amazing, Hassan. We were laughing at the fact that Hassan got bitten by a dog over the weekend, and he could possibly have herpes. And not herpes, but is it herpes?
No, it's not. Disavow.
What is it called?
It's called rabies.
Oh, rabies. I knew it was somebody bees.
Same difference.
Right. And his dog felt sad because Hassan had taken him out to walk and play in this little area where dogs play. And Hassan's dog was about to get attacked, and he went to save his dog, and he got bitten by the other dog. What the?
What the?
Did you ever get a rabies shot?
I'm not sure. They said when I went to the urgent care that I was somewhat up to date on tetanus and all that stuff.
Oh.
Like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. So I'm not sure how long. You might need a booster.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. If it's 4 or 5 years ago. And your dog looked so sad there on the bed.
I know.
His owner got bitten trying to save him.
He's like, Mama got involved.
What's going to happen? Mama die. Mama always love you. My mama love my baby. Amazing. But anyway, that's what that's all about. Nice. Well done. That's all right. Amazing. So before I go, and there is one, let's see, one line open now if you want to jump in there. 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Jesse. Now, I'm about to make a statement that I do understand, and I want to say I don't understand, but I do understand. But I want to say I don't understand, but I do understand. But I still want to make the statement. For the life of me, it's the darndest thing I ever seen in my whole bone days. And I grew up in Alabama. I grew up on a plantation. I worked the plantation proudly and happily. And I am aware of the Jim Crow laws, which did not affect black people. I lived in a tin-roof house. And when it rained, it just made the most beautiful sound, and it rocked you to sleep. There were times when we would all leave home to go to church or somewhere, to go to town or something, get some grocery. And we didn't lock the doors. We closed the doors, but never locked the doors. I did not have to walk around with keys in my pocket, house keys and all that. White people and black people, for the most part, got along. Those who agreed on the same principles got along, and those who didn't, like all human beings do, right? I remember celebrations of 4th of July and things like that. Celebrations of 4th of July and things like that. And sometimes we would travel up to Indiana to visit family members and travel back home to Alabama. And growing up, I literally saw my country as a strong country. And I wasn't thinking about it, oh, we got a strong country. I was thinking about the people of all races and there were only a few races, I think, in my country at this time, mostly blacks and whites, I think. But because I had never seen no Mexican and all that kind of stuff. But I grew up in all that. And then the so-called civil rights movement happened out of nowhere. It just all of a sudden just happened, I'm sure, pretty well planned and thought through. And it was about this, it was the worst thing that happened to the blacks other than abortion, because it brought in a division of the blacks and the whites that would not have happened had not it been for the so-called civil rights movement. It did not unite the race. We were already united. We ain't need to be united. But we were already united. But it divided the races. And as of this day, 2023, the races, blacks and whites, are more divided as a result of the so-called civil rights movement than any other time in the history of America. And from what I can see, I don't see any return. And they made up this lie, they keep repeating this lie that blacks and whites would not get along. Those that wanted to get along, got along. And they was like, oh, you had to go to all black schools, and white people went to white schools. That was fine. It wasn't a big deal. It was encouraging and making people be and do the best that they can do. And had the civil rights movement not happened, America would have all gotten along based on the same principles. And I hate using those words because those words are misused now, but a belief in God. And there were blacks and whites who believed in God, and there were blacks and whites who didn't. The blacks and whites who believed in God got along, and the blacks and whites who did not believe in God did not get along. That's just the way the ball rolls, right? And everybody understood it. And there were blacks who didn't like other blacks, and there were whites who did not like other whites. That's the way the ball rolls. It's the way it is. But America and black people were really something else back in those days. They thought for themselves. They did for themselves. They treated others the way that they would like to be treated. They worked for themselves. They were like the Jews were in whatever little days they had. They got educated. They worked hard. They became a Jew family, and they walk up and down La Cienega on Saturdays because they can't drive. But they did well, very well. And the blacks were doing the same thing. And Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King, all of them came in, and they destroyed that because they had an ego desire to control the blacks for personal gain. But when I really, and even during those days, I thought, I don't know how much I thought about it, but I never imagined that white people would cave into the blacks, because I had never seen white people caving in before. And I just didn't see that. It didn't seem like that was possible. And we all knew and know now that if it wasn't for the white man, there would be no America. There would be no America. There would be Indians running around smoking peyote, killing one another. High. Living in the woods and tent nets fighting each other. It wouldn't be America. They'd just be living out in the woods. And so I never imagined that one day white people would give up on their own lives, because we can't expect somebody else to protect us and live for us and do right by us. The heart of human beings are not like that. The heart of human beings, of all human beings, there's not one, is wicked, is evil, until they are born again of a new heart and return to the Father. Up until that truly happens, human beings are evil, wicked, deceiving, evil human beings, and they hate one another. I don't care what religion they hide under, how many degrees they have or don't have, preaching degrees or secular degrees, where they live or don't live, human beings hate one another and they hate themselves. But I never thought, and I'm still like, when I hear about it, I shake my head. Because I never imagined that white people in their own country would allow themselves to be attacked and accused of everything that's wrong, and it's not true. And look like all the people of color are now attacking white people. Even the Jews are attacking white people. And I didn't know that. I knew liberal Jews attack white people, but I didn't know the depths of it. I didn't know that very wealthy, rich Jewish people were putting money into universities so that the liberal teachers can teach white hatred. I didn't know that until this whole thing happened with the war. And I'm now seeing more and more Jewish people in the media saying they stopped supporting financing these universities because now the people are going after the Jews. And I didn't know that they were putting all that money in knowing that white people were being attacked. And I didn't know that white people would just sit back and allow themselves to be attacked. I mentioned a commercial I saw on Fox News TV station there. It says something like, and we played it last week, I believe, since so and so and so and so years, hatred of Jews, blacks, Muslims, and another something, Asian, have gone up. I'm like, well, what about the whites? It's gone up toward whites more than any other race. Everybody going after the white people, especially white men. Look how they going after Donald Trump. And all Donald Trump is doing is trying to make America better. That's all he's doing. But white people are getting beat up. The kids are getting beat up in the schools, along the roadside. Along the roadside, at work, everywhere. White people are just getting torn down. Isn't that amazing? And nobody's saying anything or doing anything about it. It's like, I was thinking this morning as I saw this story, some story about how whites are under attack. White lives do not matter, not even to white people. I'm looking at these reports, right? And you see the Jews and you see the Allah Akbar people on there talking about, oh, they attacked us in the war, they're killing the babies. Both sides are complaining, right? But you don't see the media, anyone showing and hear white people doing TV interviews, holding rallies and things, talking about how they're being attacked. They're like quietly being attacked and nobody care. Even white people don't care. Because I'm looking at these white reporters in the media, they are happily reporting the war that's happening in Israel and Palestine thing. They talk about that till the cows come home. But they won't mention what's happening to the white people. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. I just never seen anything like that. And the stuff they say about the whites are made up. It's not even true. And everybody promote it as though it is true. You hear white people saying, you know what, maybe racism exists, but racism doesn't exist. Racism is a lie. And now you got all the people of color, it seems, have all band together against white people in their own country, not just this country, but Africa and England, and white people will not stand up. What do you think? What do you think going to happen? It's like a man letting his wife beat him every day. What do you think eventually going to happen? Is it going to eventually say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong"? The heart of human being won't allow that to happen. Human beings get a thrill from hurting other human beings. They love it. The thrill of hurting themselves and hurting you. They're not going to say, "Oh, I was wrong. Let's stop. I should not have done this." And as a result, we're losing our country. We're losing our country for one reason and one reason only. White people who founded the country will not stand up. And God gave them the grace and the know-how and the talent to build the greatest country on this side of heaven. Look at that guy from TikTok. What's his name? Elon Musk? Right? Elon, look how smart he is. If all that talent is destroyed, what do you think going to happen? I mean, he's from X. Thank you. Look how brilliant he is. We don't have no brilliant black people like that. Or brilliant people of any color. Why do you think everybody and their mama, even the terrorist people, are trying to come here? And white people, you are letting yourself be destroyed by your enemies. It's the darndest thing. And you say, "Well, I'll do it because they'll call me racist. They'll take my stuff. They'll do this." And what do you love most? The truth that only comes from God, or the lie that comes from evil, from the devil? Your stuff or the truth? The white man who founded founded and created this country, they loved what was right. And they went through hell, living hell, and they saw it through. And we ended up with America. They have even destroyed Christianity. Christianity is destroyed. They call it the white man religion, so you might as well destroy it. And not nobody, but most people do not care about Christianity anymore. Oh, they sing, they dance, they hum, they hoop and holler. That ain't Christianity. That's a mess. But it's the darndest thing I ever seen. And the white people will fight for everything but for themselves, their own lives, their own children. We're losing our country. Well, we lost the country. It ain't coming back. Here's an example of an attack on white people. This is from news.vt.edu. Author, teacher, and anti-racist advocate Tim Wise has lectures internationally and has trained corporate, government, law enforcement, and medical industry professionals on methods for dismantling racism. He's training people on how to dismantle racism. How do you dismantle something that doesn't exist? And it's all geared toward white people. Let's see that guy picture. That's him right there. That's Tim Wise. Now, he looked like a white man, but he told me he's a Jew. Does he look like a white man or a Jew to you?
Well, he looks white, and that's somewhat of the problem.
It's a problem that you look white?
Well, because that's kind of how it's a lot of hidden. hidden hands.
How's the problem that he looked white?
Well, because a lot of these people who are Jewish and they are able to kind of disguise as white people.
So he's trying to look white?
Well, no, but I think that sometimes the perception of people who are maybe Jewish or
So
Israeli.
whose fault is it that he's just being white looking and somebody think he's white?
Well,
How is he disguising?
no, I'm just saying, anyway. Yeah, he looks white, to answer your question.
Amazing. He looked like a white man, but whether he's white or Jew, he's a liar. I think you talked to him before. Hake said he think I talked to him. When Hake was producer, he refused to come on my show. He wrote a book called White Like Me. But so this guy is trained, according to the report, people in corporate and government, law enforcement, medical industry, and how to dismantle something that doesn't exist. And that's racism. How do you dismantle something that doesn't exist? That racism is a made-up word. It's just a word made up. Isn't that amazing? It's just a word made up. Now, I don't know if he's white or Jew, and it doesn't matter. The one thing I do want to tell white people, you can get and take back your country, but you got to drop the anger. Because if you're angry at the attack, you won't be able to function. You're no better than the attacker. And the problem in our country today, human beings' hearts are wicked, and they're angry at other human beings, not knowing that they're the problem. An angry person is the problem. It doesn't matter. So drop your anger, white folks, and return to perfect love. And in perfect love, there is no fear, and you will see how to deal with it. You will see how to deal with it. But as long as you have anger, you're going to be afraid, and you're going to blame others, and you're going to try to destroy other human beings. And you're no better than. Drop the anger, and you'll get past this mess. There are people out there blaming the Jews. Oh, the Jews don't like Jesus. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You think Jesus spent 1 second thinking about who like him or not, or who believe in him? And those people who are mad at the Jews saying that they killed Jesus, you're a greater murderer than the Jew that didn't believe in Jesus. You don't believe in Jesus either. Jesus didn't get mad because somebody didn't believe in him. He said, I came for all. And he realized all was not going to believe. How can you be mad at somebody for not accepting Jesus and let that come out of your mouth? Look like an idiot. According to Wikipedia, Tim Wise's grandpa on his father's side was a Russian Jew. Tim Wise said when he was 12 years old, his synagogue was attacked by white supremacists. So that's why he's mad at the white folks. An angry person is worse than the person that they are mad at. You just don't know. You're worse than them. And so you got all races mad at somebody. That ain't gonna work. Never trust an angry person. And never trust a blamer. 888-7753-773. When I come back, your phone calls, your super chats, and what a mess. It's a spiritual battle. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. Let me take a quick break. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Hassan is a mess. No wonder that dog bit him. Anyway, 888-7753-773. I mentioned to you, and I'm grateful. Thank you all for helping us. Our studio equipment and computers has outdated, so we need your help. And we got to raise, so I had them to give me an estimated cost of what we need to put everything back, replace everything that's old and broken. And it's $25,000. And that'll give us what we need. So send us $25,000. It is the season for giving, right? This is Easter. No, not Easter, but Thanksgiving, Christmas, tax write-offs. And so, and we've been working hard to get y'all help, so just give back. Somebody got $25,000 right now in their pocket. Send it at rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663, all right, to make the donation. It's a tax write-off, and we got to replace this stuff so we can we're building this network, so we had to get rid of a lot of old stuff that's not working in order to do 24-hour talk, all right, and it's amazing. So you can send it to rebuildingtheman.com, go online there, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to make the donation. Or you can mail it, P.O. Box 35090, P.O. Box 35090, L.A., California, 90035. Make it out to Bond. All right? And I appreciate it. The Hake report is coming up at 9 this morning. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11. And today is Tuesday, so Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. today. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. A lot of stuff going on. So we need your support, right? And you don't hear me up here begging a lot because I just figure if folks getting help, they're going to automatically just give back. That's what common sense says. But anyway, let me just finish this thing on Tim Wise and the guy who been teaching, according to this report, tried to dismantle racism, which doesn't exist. The one thing I know for sure, and without a doubt, you will never, ever, ever, ever. Now, intellectually, you may think you have, but you ain't going to enter into the kingdom of heaven as long as you have resentment on your heart. In life, you cannot hold anything against anyone for any reason. There's never a reason to be angry. Christ came and he brought perfect love. And Christ, the Son of the Father, loved everyone. There's not one he did not love, because he knew that that person or those people were possessed. It wasn't them. As it's not them today, but they were possessed with the spirit of evil, and it was evil that was working through them as it is today. And he understood. He knew. And if you were born again of the Father, you would know too. And it doesn't matter what the race or religion of the person is or what they are into or not into, you wouldn't be able to resent them because you would know the truth. And just know, if you have anything toward anyone, then you don't know the truth. You have not been born of the Father. Intellectually, you think you have because you can quote it, but that doesn't mean a thing. Look at your life. Ain't nothing changing in your own life. You ain't going against evil. You're not going against fear. Just look closely at yourself. You wouldn't point your finger at the black, the white, the Chinese, the Mexican, the Jew, the anybody, no matter what they're into, because you have not found it yourself. You wouldn't even be out there fighting your fellow man if you knew the truth, if you were born again of the truth. And this guy, unless he's made a change, Tim Wise is an evil man. If what the news.vet.edu is saying, they're letting this devil into their businesses, their companies, bringing in nothing but hell, pretending that there's racism. Racism does not exist. The person that teaches racism is the so-called racist, meaning that they're the evil one. And the ones that are mad at the one for teaching so-called racists are the evil ones. Anyone that has anger is evil. Why do you sacrifice your life pretending you have love and you hate your fellow man? And in your own life, you won't even do what's right for your own self. But it feels good going after someone else. And that's the thrill that Tim Weiss is getting. This is from 2010 article by Tim Weiss titled "The Last Gasp of Asian White Power." From 2010 article by Tim Wise titled "The Last Gasp of Asian white power in the white man country." White people, when you go, it's over for the whole country. Just look what's happening as they're destroying you. Are they making things better? They're turning it into a ghetto. The last gasp of Asian white power. White power. This is from alternate.org by Tim Wise, according to this article. For all y'all rich folks, I'm reading it as it's written. For all y'all rich folks, enjoy that champagne. Doesn't that make you want to go out and get a glass of champagne right now? You ever had champagne?
I have not. I've never drank any alcohol.
Oh, man. What a beta.
I have had kombucha, though, which is fermented, so it's close.
Well, I don't know who kombucha is. I don't know much about history, and I don't know much about kombucha. But for all y'all rich folks, enjoy that champagne. You need to drink up and quickly. You need to drink up and quickly and heavily, 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 because your time is limited. for all y'all rich folks, because your time is limited. Party while you can, but mind the loud clock ticking. Party while you can, but mind the loud clock ticking away in the corner of your consciousness. Drink up, drink fast, but mind the loud clock ticking away in the corner of your consciousness. The clock that reminds you how little time you have. The clock that reminds you how little time you have left. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Drink up. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. It's over, white people. That's from Tim Wise. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Drink up, all you rich folks. The attack on the white people is mind-blowing to me. And you have white people helping other people who hate them to destroy them. And they make up lies in order to let the enemy in. And they put fancy names on it in order to let the enemy in. They put fancy names on it, like diversity, inclusiveness, or whatever. And there are white people cheering on their own and your demise. Here's a perfect example of it from E-Notes. In June 1998, so-called President Bill Clinton presented a speech on diversity. I put the so-called in there because it is so-called, but they didn't write so-called. Bill Clinton presented a speech on diversity at Portland State University. This is a white man supporting destroying other white people. And you're going to see white people cheering it on. Watch this from Clinton's library.
Driving force behind our increasing diversity is a new, large wave of immigration. It is changing the face of America. They have strengthened our economy, enriched our culture, renewed our promise of freedom and opportunity for all. But now we are being tested again by a new wave of immigration larger than any in a century, far more diverse than any in our history. Each year, nearly 1 million people come legally to America. Today, nearly 1 in 10 people in America was born in another country. 1 in 5 school children are from immigrant families. Today, largely because of immigration, there is no majority race in Hawaii or Houston or New York City. Within 5 years, there will be no majority race in our largest state, California. In a little more than 50 years, there will be no majority race in the United States. No other nation in history has gone through demographic change of this magnitude in so short a time. I believe new immigrants are good for America. They are revitalizing our cities. They are building our new economy. They are energizing our culture and broadening our vision of the world and reminding us all of what it truly means to be an American.
That's a bald-faced lie. America is not greater or better as a result of immigrants, illegal or legal immigrant. We're worse off than any other time. Supporting the demise of white people, from white people. And these illegal aliens and these immigrants are not coming here to work. They're coming here for free stuff. According to the New York Post, the latest data shows only about 2% of the tens of thousands of migrants who have poured into New York City have applied for work authorizations. Only 2%, according to the New York Post. How is that better for America? These people not even applying for work, and they don't have to because they're getting it free. Bill Clinton is a bald-faced lie then, and unless he's repented and came back and said I was wrong, he still is a liar. And white people are under attack. Look at the white children getting beat up in these black schools by the black gang. A bunch of gang blacks, thugs, on one white person, stomping them and knocking them out and killing them. And then the news media might report it, and they'll say, a fight, a bunch of kids, teenager. They don't say black on white, but if it was the other way around, they would say a bunch of white, racist, white supremacists beat up a black child. It's hard on the black man in America. White people, it ain't gonna get better. It ain't gonna stop on its own. Evil does not stop on its own. You gotta deal with evil in the right way. Within yourself, and you'll see how to deal with it outside of yourself, inside of others. Justin, a first time, what a mess, huh? It's the darndest thing I've ever seen. And everybody seems to be focusing on only protecting everyone else but the white man. And he's the last one you need to be blaming. Justin, a first-time caller out of South Carolina. Justin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, hi, hey Jesse. It's an honor to be on the air with you.
Thank you.
I was calling in. I've battled through a dysfunctional family, trying to break the cycle. My dad committed suicide after beating cancer in 2016. And
he committed suicide after he got over cancer?
Yes, sir.
Why
yes,
did he do it after?
Why
he didn't do it during cancer?
That's what was the $1 million question.
Oh,
I always
man.
try to figure that out.
He got it backwards.
He had it backwards, but it made me a stronger person. It made me have stronger boundaries and find God and just, get closer to God. I find the closer I get, the better things go. But you are right. The white man is under attack. And part of the reason I was calling in today, I've been in banking corporate for 19 years. And just recently, after coming back from 2 major surgeries, not only was my office moved to 34.22 miles away, I was later fired a couple weeks after that for an outside group text message that contained the word NIGGA that was turned in.
Did he hang up? Oh, Nick said he's trolling. Nick said he was trolling. Oh, okay. That's why Nick said he's spelling the words or he's trolling. What the? At a time like this, white folk, y'all better get serious. Y'all better get serious. You're under attack. Amazing. Let me go to Deborah, a first-time call out of Virginia. Deborah, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Go ahead, Deborah.
Well, I just was calling to say that I enjoy listening to your podcast. And I agree with most everything. Well, probably everything you say. I grew up in South Georgia, and I remember segregation very well. I live in Virginia now, and some people say it's still the South, but it's not the South, because around Charlottesville, Virginia, it's very, very woke. So I, was here during the Unite the Right debacle, and everything has changed around here since then. It was awful. It was awful. You probably have seen in the news where the Robert E. Lee Park, they got the name changed for that.
Yeah.
They took the statue away. They melted it down. And interestingly enough, after they cleared the beautiful park a few months ago, a homeless camp set up there with tents and things.
Amazing.
It's just insane. It's insane.
Is that the state where that dumb female that's running for president now took down the Confederate flag? What's her name?
Are you talking
Nikki
about
Haley.
Oh no, she was from South Carolina.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is Virginia.
Yeah.
This is Virginia, around the University of Virginia, where
Right.
that huge riot happened.
Back in 2017.
Yes.
Right. The Charlottesville riot. I remember now.
Yes, yes. And the thing was that it was going to be just a few of those guys walking down the street. It was no big deal. Nobody was interested in it. But the left bust people in overnight. And that's what caused all that. And then they said on television it was the Unite the Right that caused all the problems. But it wasn't. It wasn't. If you look at the footage, it wasn't.
So, Deborah, you're white, right?
Yes, I'm white.
So what is it like living as a white person in your own country, knowing that of all the races, that your race is under attack for wrong reason? It's not true, and that they hate you for no reason at all. What is that like?
Well, it's discouraging, and you're right. White people do take a step back because that's in their own best interest.
How is that?
Right.
It's
it's a big fight. It's a big, other white people jump on the bandwagon.
You're saying that white people should not speak up but step back?
Well, I'm not saying whether they should or they should not, but it's easier. I'm just saying it's easier.
Deborah, hold on. Can you hold Deborah?
Sure.
All right, hold on. And Justin is back. That wasn't a troll call. So, Justin, I'll get to you too, buddy. I got to take a break. Hake coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, and I'll be back in a moment. White people, don't be mad because that'll hold you back. It's good versus evil. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Country and Western Tuesday, November 21st, 2023 AD, the year of our Lord. Stay tuned for hour two, callers. JLP will be right back to you. Straight back to the phones. Great calls. Appreciate you. So hang tight. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The evil Biden administration wants to bribe the useful idiot voters again. A few days before Thanksgiving, the black on the inside White House, according to commie nonsense network CNN, appears eager to promote dropping prices on everything from gas to the cost of turkeys, as many Americans grapple with holiday cash crush. The push to highlight easing prices comes as the evil Biden administration has struggled to move the needle with voters who say their pocketbooks are in pain. Pocketbooks don't feel pain. Despite some improved economic indicators, so claims Commie Nonsense Network. And CNN and the far-left females at the Skim report on the Israel-Palestine drama. Gaza, yesterday a strike at the Indonesian hospital in northern Gaza killed at least 12 people, with thousands of people taking shelter there. Gaza's health ministry says Israel is responsible for the attack. Israel says that they responded to enemy fire coming from inside the hospital, but that they did not hit the facility. In a rare glimmer of hope for Gaza, according to CNN, 28 premature babies, arrived in Egypt today as Palestinian authorities ramped up efforts to transport injured patients through the Rafah crossing for life-saving treatment. And hostages. Yesterday, evil Biden said he believes a hostage deal is near to release some of the more than 200, estimated 239 hostages held by Hamas since the October 7th attacks that killed 1,200 per Israeli military. A Hamas leader, too, said they're close to reaching a truce agreement with Israel. National Security spokesman, not a man, John Kirby, said Monday here in America that negotiators are getting close to the end on the release of hostages held by Hamas. Israel has yet to comment. And watch out for germs this season. It's time for getting sick, so don't get sick. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports as many Americans look forward to embracing loved ones this Thanksgiving holiday, holy day. Health experts are encouraging safe gathering habits amid a mix of seasonal viruses in circulation. The latest Scared Woman-led CDC data, not Christians, shows that cases of flu, the China virus, and RSV, that respiratory something, are picking up in most parts of the country, meaning many common public spaces and heavily populated areas may potentially be contaminated. However, there are a number of familiar precautions you can take to keep from catching an illness from fellow travelers or out-of-town visitors, such as washing your hands 10 times as much like Trump advised, opening windows when possible, get to that fresh air, and, oh gosh, wear a mask in areas with limited ventilation. It might be decent advice, I guess. I don't know. Vaccines are also available at hospitals and major retail pharmacy chains, but use at your own risk. You do that at your own risk. The experts are stressing those, of course. Plus, U.S. households, each U.S. household is now eligible to order an additional 4 at-home China virus tests for free. Pray for Dayton, Ohio. Police say 4 people were injured, according to CNN, after a gun male, not a man, opened fire at Walmart near Dayton, Ohio, Beaver Creek specifically, allegedly, before taking his own life Monday night. Authorities say the suspect, described only as a male, no race mentioned, entered the store 8:35 Eastern, around there, shot 4 people before turning the gun on himself. Victims were taken to the hospital for treatment. Conditions unclear. Monday night's violence marks at least the second deadly shooting at that very Walmart, that same store. Remember John Crawford? He had that realistic-looking airsoft gun, pellet BB gun. He got shot by the cops. This recent shooting is among at least 609 so-called mass shootings in the U.S. this year, according to the so-called Gun Violence Archive. So there's your daily dose of fake gun violence propaganda. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, brand new, is a doozy. Who or what are you trying to hold together? Who or what are you trying to hold together? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, you can podcast all the shows, but you can be listening by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Excuse me, on your iPhone or iPad, all right? Follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. To donate and have your super chats read out loud, your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. It's Tuesday. It's the second hour of Tuesday. Every Tuesday is Country Western Tuesday.
All my thoughts, well, they've all been lies. They let me down every single time because the devil's been making homes inside my head. The good, the bad, the glad, the sad. If I could let them all go and give them to God, well, maybe he'd take this anger from my soul, and I'd shine like a light that's too bright to see. And I could lean on God so he could lean on me. Forgiveness, righteous, perfect peace.
Amazing. Amazing. Country and Western Tuesday. So you see Jesse and the dog there looking over the land. Is that right, Hassan?
Exactly. A little bit of frontierman today. Also kind of an ode to Cujo, if anyone remembers Cujo, the movie. Similar to that dog without the rabies, but...
Oh, I don't remember. It was a movie?
It was like a horror movie, I think, in the 80s. It was about a dog that had rabies, and he went around, like, eating people.
It wasn't Lassie.
Exactly.
Remember Lassie?
Yeah, Lassie's nice.
Yeah, Lassie was a white dog.
Lassie's like my dog.
That's right.
Sweet.
Uh-huh. Amazing. There he is. Poor dog.
Ready for Thanksgiving.
He got on a costume.
Sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie competition coming up.
I bet Jesus like, what the? Does he like sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie?
Big sweet potato fan.
Nice.
He has sweet potato treats.
My kind of dog.
Yep.
Who let the dogs out? Let me go back to Deborah from Virginia, talking about the good old days and what happened there in Virginia. And I asked Deborah about being a white woman in America and what is that like? And Deborah, you I forgot totally how we ended the conversation, put it on hold for a minute, but you were saying that white people should or should not speak up.
Well, in this area particularly, it's better just to exist and try to stay out of conflict and vote when vote your conscience. But it doesn't do a lot of good to speak up here. You are put in a bad situation.
And how would that be better for whites if they did nothing about it at all? How would that end?
Well, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it's better to be quiet and use your power to vote. And, pretty soon I do believe this is going to turn around simply because the woke movement is going to implode on itself, around here at least. Already, last week, Charlottesville High School had to close because the staff, the teachers, all called out sick because there is a lot of fighting in the school between the students. The teachers don't feel safe, and it's because that whole Charlottesville administration has not taken control of the violence.
They have blacks in that school?
Majority, yes.
And it's the blacks.
Although the news reports are not assigning who the troublemakers are, but there are troublemakers.
And are they black?
They're not saying, but my guess would be yes.
And the white teachers are calling in?
All of the teachers called in. The black principal resigned.
And how would that get better?
Well, I think that eventually people are going to withdraw. They're not going to have staff that can, and the staff that even believe in those woke principles are now feeling unsafe. So there has to be a change. I personally don't support the public school system.
I don't either. What kind of change will you think is going to happen when the only thing that the whites are doing is running?
I'm not sure, but their children won't be indoctrinated.
The white children?
Yes. But if they leave those schools, they won't be indoctrinated.
Right, but the white woman don't love her children anymore. She want to be like the white man.
Well,
and put them in daycare center so she can feel like a man.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that. You may be right. I used to be a daycare center director, and I know a lot of women need to work. We weren't in our center. There were women that needed to work.
Were they married?
Yes, they were married.
Married women don't need to work if they have children.
Well, there's a high cost of living in this area.
But they can make a great sacrifice. They don't try to keep up with the high cost, but they can live very separately. If they love their children, they would sacrifice the ego.
I stayed home with mine. I stayed home with my children.
Yep.
I put my children in Christian schools when they were old enough. So I don't support any of that. But if you do speak out, you need to know who you're speaking out around, at least here.
What does that mean?
A lot. Well, after Trump was elected president, trouble rain down on anyone who even associated that they had voted for Trump.
But
it was really bad, and there was no way to. I mean, in this area, there was no way to fight that. If you want to move away from here to a small community, that's fine. But I enjoy some of the resources that are in this area.
But Deborah, that's going to happen because what human beings seem not to realize is that our battle is truly spiritual.
Yes, I agree.
And human beings, our hearts are evil. And it doesn't matter if it's family members or friends or co-workers or husband, wife, children. When your heart is evil, you are blind and cannot see. And if that one person near you, or you hear about that one person whose heart has been changed from anger to love, that hatred in you is going to go after that person and try to destroy them. But it wouldn't bother you because you would love what's right, truly love what's right. And in what is right, there is no fear.
Right. I do love what's right, but I do not want to get angry. I have been angry about what happened years ago. I have, the Lord has replaced that with love. So I think He guides our responses.
But if you don't have anger, it's impossible to get angry if that spirit is not in you. And you will know that all human beings, it doesn't matter their title, Christian, Muslim, Allahu Akbar, Catholic, Jews, Gentile, you would know that they are possessed in the same way that you're possessed until they overcome it. It has nothing to do with anything but that.
Well, to give you an example, during the before the election and during the election, immediately after, I knew I stood up for what I believed was right. But the backlash was so severe in my circle of friends. I thought they were friends, but they're not.
No such thing as a friend.
No. Only if you agree with them. So, yeah, I just, I did get angry when anger was pushed on me for something that I felt was right. We have the right in the United States to vote the way we want to.
So why did you get angry at the devil in them?
I was surprised. I was surprised. I'll have to say, I'm not a saint. I was surprised that growing. I will be 70 years old soon, and so I grew up in a time where you could speak your mind and your opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Not now.
Yes, you can.
Well,
I got to run, Deborah, but let me ask on the way out. Do you have fear?
No, I don't have fear.
You don't have fear anymore?
No, I don't think it's fear. I think it's just a healthy, wisdom of how to use your voice and when.
Amazing. Deborah, your call is amazing. Thank you for it.
Thank you for having me on the air.
Call me again.
All right.
Amazing. Thank you, Deborah. 888-7753-773. Let me go back to Justin, a first-time call out of South Carolina. And Justin, you were saying that you were fired because you, outside of your job, you on a group chat, you used the N-word. And who fired you, and how did they find out about it?
So it was on Super Bowl Sunday. My brother, I was at his house watching the game, and after the first play, he had put me on a text thread with some of his coworkers that I wasn't aware of. And after the first play, there was a funny play at the beginning, and I wrote in the text, "This game is rigged, nigga." And I wrote in the text, "This game is rigged, nigga." And the guy the next day that was on his team that didn't say anything that night on the text thread, he didn't show any kind of anger or speak up or anything. He cornered my brother and basically played the race card against my brother and was acting like he was really upset about it and was going to take it to the next level. And my brother panicked and called me and, just told me he wasn't sure what was going to happen, but this guy seemed like he was going to do something stupid. So I do real estate now that I've been fired. But I found out because whenever on May 4th, when I got called in, they said it was an anonymous group text message. And when we put the story together and started talking to each other, we realized it was his coworker that did that. So I've actually filed a $10 million lawsuit against the bank. I couldn't get a lawyer because I don't have any money. So I'm doing it all by myself, pro se, but it's in federal district court right now. And the whole premise of why they fired me, they said it was deemed inappropriate.
So how do you feel about getting fired?
I feel more embarrassed that I said the word. I mean, I said it in a friendly manner. I didn't mean it in any kind of hateful way. I wish I wouldn't have said it. But in a way, I feel like it kind of saved my life because that place was so toxic. And I even have friends there now that are both black and white that are going through it that I pray for every day. But, the laptop was my ball and chain. It was my fear. It was my God because everywhere I went, that's where I had my laptop with me because I was scared I was going to get fired if I didn't answer an email quick enough or an IM quick enough. And so when they fired me, it kind of was a relief in some sort of way. And, even though I'm broker than I've ever been, I'm closer to God than I've ever been and happier than I've ever been.
And so how do you feel about getting fired?
It's biting me in the ass right now because I'm in a bad financial spot. But I'm not embarrassed by it anymore. I'm speaking up, against the white liberals and how they try to run the things there. I mean, to me, saying the N-word's inappropriate at any time, really, for anybody to say.
But how do you feel about getting fired? Did you get angry? Were you? How do you feel about it?
I was scared.
Of what?
Just because I got two kids and I've always worked since I was 14. I've been in banking 19 years. So I guess it was the first time, just the fear of it being the first time kind of thing.
Oh, I see. And are you over the fear now?
Yes, sir, I am. I've been very positive, making sure my circle is the right people, praying boldly for things that I need, and, just really trying to stand my ground against this Goliath that I'm fighting. I feel like it's David versus Goliath, but I do feel like it's bigger than just me, and it's bigger than just the N-word. I don't think if I was white that I would have got fired.
You're not white?
I said if I wasn't white.
But you are white, right?
Yes, sir. I'm a 42-year-old white man.
And when you say that you're praying boldly, what do you say you're praying boldly for?
I pray boldly for me in detail for what I need, for my family members.
What does that mean? Friends. To pray boldly.
Just not to be scared to pray. I mean, a lot of times we get scared to pray for the things that we really need or the things that we want to happen or how we want to react to something. So just being bold with our prayers, praying for the people to do the right thing, pray for people to love each other and work with each other and have peace with each other.
Does God tell you to pray for those things?
He does. He does.
Where does he say pray boldly for those things?
That's a good question. When I talk to God, I feel like when he tells me to pray boldly, that means to get outside of my comfort zone. So for me,
where does God tell you to pray boldly?
Say that one more time, sir.
Where does God tell you to pray boldly?
In my heart.
God tell you in your heart to pray boldly.
Yes, sir.
And how he said, Justin, pray boldly.
Pray boldly and
You hear his
hold your
voice
right-
telling you that?
I have conversations with him. Yes, sir.
You have conversation with God?
I feel like I do. Yes, sir.
And why do you feel that way?
I just feel like because I feel the closer I get and the more I pray, the better life has just gotten. And it's not a coincidence. I feel, living right and doing right and praying and having conversations with him one-on-one is what it's all about. We can talk about God, but do we talk to God? And, I talked about God a lot before my dad's suicide, but now I talk to God directly a lot because he's who I lean on in my time of need.
Do you want to know how to really know God for sure?
I would love to.
Cut out that mess you're doing. I'm praying to God boldly. I'm talking to God. You're praying boldly to the devil and you're talking strongly to the devil. God tells you to be still and know him. The best way to know God is to know that you don't know him. Be still and watch, and you shall know him. And God tell you not to pray for those things. He said, think not about those things. But the devil inside of you and the devil outside of you, inside of other people, have told you to do those things, and that's why nothing is working for you. You got to let go and let God. You don't know what to pray for. No such thing in prayer. He said you don't know what to pray for. You don't know what to ask for. You don't even know what you want. So how you going to pray boldly when you don't know what you want? And you don't even know what to ask for? Why not be still and watch him and let him do the work through you?
That's a good point. That's something I've struggled with, is sitting still at times and letting him do the work, and not realizing it's on his time and not my time.
You're never going to know God until you do that. It ain't going to work any other way. All that other stuff, you're worshiping the devil. And that's why nothing is working. That's why you don't have peace. That's why you have fear. That's why you worry, because you're of the devil and not of God. I would recommend you be still. Have you heard of the silent prayer? You ever heard me talk about it?
I've just started listening to you. My buddy Paul turned me on to you.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I recall that or not.
Go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
Okay.
Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer or silentprayer.video. And I want you to start doing that. And so that God can bring you out of the darkness of your imagination. You're having too much fun with the devil. You're having too much fun with the devil and calling him God. I pray boldly. It feels good to say I pray boldly, huh? I talk to God. That's just a good feeling, man. That don't mean nothing.
I mean, when I feel like I talk to him and things go better in my life, I feel like that's a sign. I mean, the things I pray for, he's put in front of me.
Right. That's what the devil would do. He would give you those things to deceive you. He gives those things to all of his children.
I'm just learning more about the Bible and being a Christian. So I appreciate your take on it.
Romans 8:26 said, "We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercede for us." You have a Spirit inside of you. His name is Holy, and He will intercede for you. But you got to be still, let go, so all that can happen. You have the kingdom of heaven inside of you. You have God inside of you, His Son, Jesus, and the Spirit of truth, which is the Holy Spirit, and He will teach all things to you. You don't need to do anything but live. You need to stay present where God is instead of in your head thinking about the past or the future. That's where the devil is, and you will see that God will take care of you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for saying that. That makes so much sense.
But you got to let go, Justin.
I will. I'm going to sit still, and I'm going to do exactly like you said.
And those thoughts, which is of the devil, are going to overwhelm you because they're not going to want to depart from you. it's darkness, it's of the devil. But be still and just watch those thoughts, knowing that they're not yours, they're not you, they're not from God. And you'll start to see, man, it's going to be amazing.
I believe you, and I'm going to keep listening to you, and I thank you again, Jesse.
Are you married?
I actually got divorced right after my dad's death. It was about a 3-year divorce, but it's one that I wish I could have made work. We both just never put God first and did it the right way.
Yeah, I was going to ask if she obeyed you or not. Did she obey you?
No.
Well,
She got pregnant pretty quick and didn't tell me. I had about 35 days to prepare from the day she told me until the day she had my firstborn. And I stayed engaged 5 years because I didn't want to get married. So I got married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And it failed me miserably, but it's part of life, and one of those things you got to kind of pick yourself up from and just learn how to move on. And
well, be glad that heifer is gone.
Yes, sir.
And here's what I recommend. Oh, your mother still living?
My mother, yes, sir.
Have you forgiven her?
I have. I spent a long time not talking to her, blaming her for my parents' divorce. But we have a good relationship, and I have forgiven her. Yes, sir.
You told her you forgive her for turning you away from your father?
I've never said that specifically to her, but I think
not?
I will today. I'm going to today.
Why have you said it already?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would have hoped that I would have thought that I'd said that already. But that is something I feel like I need to say.
What did your father say when you asked him why did he protect you from your mother? What did he say when you asked him that?
It was my father?
Yes.
I mean, I just blamed her. I found out her affair and just kind of just went with my dad, and my brother went with my mom, and she moved to New Jersey, and I stayed in South Carolina. So it was like us versus them type.
Nice.
Growing up.
At least you were on the right side.
You're right. You're right.
Well,
I'm gonna break the cycle.
Yeah, forgive your father. He couldn't deal with your mother. Your mother's like his mother. So forgive them both. Forgive your mother for turning you away from your father. And do the silent prayer, Ken, and so you can let all that other stuff you've been doing go away. And let God take over. Live in the kingdom from within. I'm telling you, man, it will be. Just do it, and you'll see what happens.
I am. I feel you. I feel what you're saying, and I thank you so much.
And stay with it, and forget about all that I pray boldly mess.
I will.
All right,
God
buddy.
bless you, Jesse. Keep doing what you're doing.
I will. And so, and the last thing I want to tell you, in this situation with the job situation, don't be mad at the folks for firing you. Don't be mad at the folks on the tech group. Look at yourself and see what you can understand from it, what you did not see. Because had you been able to see, then that would not have happened to you. But you were blind and you didn't see the type of people you were dealing with or how they pull you into that stuff so that you would never end up in that situation again.
Yes, sir.
All right?
I will. I definitely will.
And don't be angry at anyone, the boss or anyone, because God is with you and you'll be fine.
Amen.
Let me know how it goes, Justin.
I will. Take care, Jesse.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Quick break. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay. Is my mic on? Okay. 888-775-3773. Let me tell you this first. Subscribe and follow the JLP Radio Network on YouTube and Instagram. Do it now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Don't walk, but run and do it. All right? And I need you to send us $25,000 so we can update all our stuff, and we're going boldly unto the Lord. All right? It's a write-off, if you like. Rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com. We need to update our equipment and computers here. It's so outdated. You got to realize I was doing radio 30 years ago, and we were using a lot of the same equipment. And this equipment has lasted as long as I have lasted, and I'm older than Israel.
What the?
I'm older than a country. And so thank you for your help. And y'all give back. Don't have me begging. What the? All right? We're helping y'all. Y'all help us to help others. So go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And make a little notation. This is for the update on equipment update. And that way we can let you know where we are, how much we got. All right? And then, if you need counseling, let me do this. Forget about the counseling right now. It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, this week. For personal shout-outs, I do them for you. Happy Thanksgiving shout-out, happy birthday shout-out, happy divorce shout-out, happy fight shout-out, to encouragement shout-out. Whatever shout-out is, I'll do them for you. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. A good friend of mine sent me this on my phone here. It's from Hebrew 4:16, KJV Bible. It's in the Word. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we might obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we might obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. That's deep. That's what Dimitri want to talk about, I'm told. Boldly mean in fear and trembling, scared as hell. Be still and know the Father. shaking in your boots, face your fears. Shaking with trembling, and the devil busy in your head telling you what's going to happen. Be still and know the Father. Face your fears anyway. Boldly doesn't mean I'm going to make up my mind. I'm going to be tough. That's a trick from the devil. Boldly means come as you are. Worry, weary, and scared. And watch what happens. Be still. Go and forgive your mama, your fathers. Return to God. Be still. And face your fears, folks. You know how scared you are when you have to face your mama? You could be 90 years old and scared to face mama, but you go face mama anyway. And you're scared, but you do it anyway. And the fear from dealing with mama disappear. That's boldly. That's boldness. And the devil like, don't hurt mama feeling. You gonna make mama mad. Mama took care of you, but you did it anyway. In fear and trembling, you went boldly and forgave mama, and the fear left. Amazing though. I like that. 888-7753-773. Let me do this, and then we get back to the phones here. Everybody and mama want to get in on this. Super chat.
Super chats.
No, but most.
But most.
Nice. That's on rebuildingtheman.com?
/stores.
Rebuildingtheman.com/store.
Although the updated design on Society 6 has but most over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So you don't have to turn around to see it.
Yeah, what the?
Prep Ham Paul, yesterday, he's a monthly Rumble supporter.
Thank you, Prep Ham Paul.
Did this guy seriously hold on to that thought of Aztecs sacrificing their kids for an entire year? Mind blown emoji.
Aztec?
Yeah, the Aztecs.
Oh, the caller from yesterday.
Yeah.
What the?
Terrible.
Something's on my mind. It's been bothering me a long time.
That's what Ron from Texas was singing yesterday when he brought up the child sacrifice.
You heard that song, Hassan?
I have not.
Something's on my mind.
You hear his fan. Anytime he opens his mic, his fan is blowing hard into
for the rabies.
He needs that fresh air.
I don't understand.
Oh, that's Minnie Repettin.
Who? No, that's
It sounds
Diana
like-
Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, close.
The boss is Diana Ross. Amazing. Thank you.
Gregatron bought a coffee. Y'all had me dying yesterday in the first hour with the rabies talk. I never heard JLP laugh so hard for so long. I think Jesse might have been high. Come payday, I'm going to get my Great White Hope shirt.
Nice. That was so funny to me. I was laughing. I was sweating like a slave. I don't even know if I sweated that hard in the cotton fields on a hot sunshiny day at 12 noon when the sun is blasted down on you. That was so funny. I saw it played it in the first opening. We'll do it again, hopefully, in the second one.
JLP 2024 bought 10 coffees. Here are some funds for equipment upgrades.
Thank you.
Danny Moore bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse and the lads. Have any of you heard of spiritual evolution? That the spirit repeats times on earth each time, learning different things and experiences? Or do you think it's a load of hogwash?
I never heard of that. You heard that, Bill? Spiritual evolution?
He's saying, más o menos, maybe.
And he was doing this thing.
At first he nodded, yes. And then spiritual evolution? Maybe, sort of.
You heard of that, Hake?
I don't think I've ever heard of that. And I'm not sure what he means by the spirit repeats times on earth, each time learning different things and experiences.
You heard of that, Hassan?
I have, yes.
Oh, I figure you had all that mess you be hearing about.
He's
New
age.
A lot of New Age type of talk or Buddhist.
Yeah, is it kind of like a reincarnation or something?
That's Buddha mess.
But I think,
reincarnation.
but
Buddha is like that fat guy that sit up and collect money on his stomach.
Yeah, from India.
But I think the
China.
Christian parallel to it would be, walking the narrow road and kind of dying from self and dying from the ego. So
I'm gonna have to
But one
interview
life,
Buddha.
not multiple lives.
yeah, but I think that could be like a Christian parallel, sort of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to interview Buddha,
You mean a
You
Buddhist?
have interviewed Buddhists.
but I have never interviewed Buddha.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Buddha lives? This sounds bad. I have to disavow it.
Me too.
Buddha collect money on his belly.
No, he's just a fat representation. The real Buddha was fit.
Oh yeah, I do rub his belly when I go to
See?
the Chinese.
Buddha must be mighty lazy. Cause he sit in his belly just a fat look like those women that put. What?
That's not the real Buddha.
Oh, that's not the real Buddha?
No, there's somebody else.
It just that just guy
Buddha was fat or skinny.
Oh, the real Buddha was thin?
Yeah.
told you.
This fat Buddha is just fat because he don't work.
He's like the Santa.
He like the illegal aliens.
He's the handicapped Santa.
Evidently.
Someone bought you
thank
3 coffees. Jesse, thank you so much for having Jerome Davison on The Fallen State. As a Raiders fan, I cheered for him, but root for him even more as he's a pastor and a non-rhino.
Yeah, that was fun talking with him.
It was a fun debate between two black men who have so much in common, but you didn't know who Al Davis was? What? Check out Al's story as a great American who loved his country.
Was he the singer?
No, that's Al Green.
What Al Davis a singer too?
Al Davis?
I don't know.
Maybe.
But who is Al Davis now?
Well, he's looking down from heaven.
Who was he?
Oh.
He was
a great American who loved his country.
Oh, he wasn't a basketball player or anything?
I don't know.
Oh. You don't know who he is either. What the?
But I'm not black or
he
old.
He doesn't know. I know Al Davis, the singer.
Football coach and executive. Died in 2011.
Oh, before I was born.
General manager, principal owner, and general manager of the Raiders for 39 years. From 1972 until he died in 2011.
Where's Al Davis now?
Looking down from heaven. He was a white man.
I rest my case. But no, I didn't know him. But thank you. And that interview is on the fallerstate.tv. Y'all can check it out. It was an amazing interview.
He was a Chad.
It really was.
Matthew on
Thank
YouTube
you.
bought 5 coffees.
Oh, Hal Davis is who I'm talking about, right, Sean? You ain't talking about Al Green. All black people ain't Al Green.
Denzel Washington.
And Al Green got hot grits thrown on him anyway.
I hadn't heard that story.
That woman
Sounds like
wasted a good pot of hot grits throwing it on somebody.
Terrible.
I think it was Al Green. I may be wrong. But one of those black singers. But anyway, thank you.
Matthew on YouTube says, Ron Paul said that we need to release the non-violent January 6ers from prison, give them justice for the J6 prisoners. I truly hope, although I'm skeptical that anything just will happen, says Matthew, I truly hope America can right the wrongs of the past 3 years and we overcome.
That ain't gonna happen. What the? You can overcome the world, but the world ain't gonna change. The world is hell because the people of the world are hell. And they're creating hell on earth. Thank you, though.
Prep Ham Paul is a monthly supporter on Rumble. Good morning, JLP crew. Someone please explain how Jews aren't white, quote unquote. I've never seen Jewish on an application for race. Jews are some of the whitest people I know. It proves racism doesn't exist. They have to think up categories to divide us with made-up terms. Soon they'll add Middle Eastern or Southern European to separate more groups from whites.
They will do that. 100% going to do that. Believe me. It's crazy, too, how human beings believe these lies, and they join the club, and they fight against the others in the other club. That is the craziest thing I ever seen, but I understand it. And each side believe they're right. God said, lay your weapon down. Turn the ships around.
Or was that Gladys Knight or somebody like that? I don't even know who that was.
Lay your weapons down. Fathers are pleading. Lovers are all alone. Mothers are praying. Bring the sons back home. You ship them away.
Frida Payne?
You ship them away on ships and planes to a senseless war, facing death in vain. Wars are totally vanity. All wars are vain because it's all about money and perceived power. That's all they're ever about. And they get y'all to join, and they get you killed, and they have you fighting one another, think you know what you're talking about, and they're gaining power and wealth. Perceived power, but power and wealth. That's all wars are about. And they don't say about killing you or you getting killed. They don't care about the kid's head being chopped off, and you're down here, oh, the children. The children and the women. Acting like idiots. The children's heads were chopped off. And the government and the people putting on the wall like, what the? Why do you think in this war both sides are showing you the casualties? Both sides want you to act one way or another because you're so emotional. You see the chopped off head, oh my God. You see the one being captured, oh my God. Because you're emotional. Can't you just see what's going on without being emotional? You don't have to be emotional. Emotions are doing no good for no one. It ain't helping the chopped off head baby. It ain't helping the man that's been captured. You're just feeling emotions which are of the devil. It's enough to see it. You ain't got to be feeling anything for it or about it. What do you think about that, Hake?
I agree with that because it's so phony, all this propaganda. You made a point in church, this past Sunday, that the Christians are taking one side or the other because they hate the other side or the one side.
That's the only reason they take a side. They hate the other side.
Yeah.
And so they take the side, and the side they'll take it. They really don't like one another on that side, but they'll take it for now.
Right.
Because now they're mad at the other side, so they'll take it for now, but as soon as they get through with them, they back hating one another. What a mess, huh?
Yep. I saw a preacher a street preacher whom you interviewed, who there was clips of him, and there was this Jewish guy saying, we need to unite, Christians and Jews need to unite against the Muslims. But then the Muslims and the Christians also want to unite against the Jews. Anyway.
And you don't supposed to unite against anyone. Lay your weapon down and let the Lord fight your battle. What a mess. Anyway, thank you.
Being enlightened till I rise, Rumble Rant. How can you help whites understand that they're on the plantation of racism, same as the blacks? Isn't it victimhood or maybe victimizerhood? What's wrong with the whites? Anger, same as the blacks.
I've been warning whites for 30-something years. I used to write for WorldNet Daily and other things, and I was like, white people, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. But they didn't wake up. What the? Thank you. Let's stop there.
Okay.
And remember when you stop and we'll pick up on it. I want to get you some phone calls. DC is the first time call out of North Carolina. DC, welcome to. Thank you all for your super chats. Amazing. DC, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, it's a pleasure to be on with you, man.
Thank you.
You know, I feel like it harkens back to one of the earlier points that you made about, what are white people going to do to fight back? What's the white man going to do? I think before we even start to consider fighting for whatever race or color that we have, we need to fight to bring back the term man back into what it's supposed to be, back to what a man is supposed to traditionally be in this country, because there are no men left anymore. And the ones that we have getting so old, the only thing we can do is pass down the knowledge that we have and our wisdom and experience that goes in one ear and out the other to the newer generation.
Do you speak up?
Absolutely.
And how do people react when you disagree or agree, or how do they react to you?
They do the typical, the absolute typical. They start to attach tag names to me. I'm either homophobic, I'm racist, I'm a bigot. No, I'm just a man who tries to be peaceful, who tries to live my life in happiness, but it's not going to be happy or any kind of life if you let the government take control and tell you who and how you're supposed to be.
Yeah, amazing. And the other thing I'm telling to white people that they have to get over anger, get over fear, because if they speak up with fear, then they're going to overreact in the wrong way, and that's what the enemy want you to do. He want you to overreact in the wrong way so he can take away all of your freedom. But if you don't have anger, you won't have fear. You're going to always fight in the right way. Where
if you're trying to win a fight or an argument and you bring anger into it, the only thing that you're doing is putting a Band-Aid on cancer.
Yeah, you're really hurting yourself for sure.
Exactly. I mean, if you think about it just in general, if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody that you feel completely crossed you up, and you're out there getting pumped up, and you're letting your blood pressure rise, you're going to completely lose your train of thought. You're going to abandon the principles that make you who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to let that emotion take control.
Amazing.
It's like I told a chaplain that I still correspond with, who I served with in the military, last week, actually, the last time that we spoke. If you cannot take criticism the same way that you would take praise, then the problem is with you.
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. DC.
I really wish I could stay here and stay and talk with you. I've got to run. It's been an honor to speak with you. I would give somebody else a chance, but you're an awesome American, and somebody please give him $25,000.
Yeah, somebody. What the? DC. Call me again, but I appreciate it. Amazing.
God bless him.
All right. Amazing. Yeah. Even if one person don't get a whole 25, y'all put enough in. 25 is not a lot. 25,000 is not a lot. Okay. Anyway, I got to take a break. When I come back, I am coming back to the phone calls here. We got a lot of folks waiting. 888-7753-773. You can get that one line now. The hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. One more hour to go. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
Whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Tuesday, November 21st, AD 2023, Anno Domini. Stay tuned for hour 3, last hour of JLP. We'll be right back to your calls and more great stories. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Fake rights, voting rights, the so-called Voting Rights Act. Yesterday, the ladies at the Skim reported an appeals court said only the federal government can sue under a key provision of the landmark law, the destructive law. Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act bans election and voting practices that discriminate based on race. In 2021, 2 so-called civil rights groups, communists, sued Arkansas, over their new state house map, saying it's illegal under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act because it underrepresents so-called black voters. Now the appeals court has sided with a 2022 decision that said only the Justice Department, the Injustice Department that is, should have filed the suit against Arkansas, not private citizens or fake civil rights groups, because civil rights are fake. The ruling's raising concerns among so-called civil rights advocates, meaning radical communists, especially since private citizens file the majority of suits under that act. Nice. The case is expected to make its way to the so-called Supreme Court in the United States. So-called United States. Evil group sued by X. Speaking of fake civil rights, Media Matters for America. Yesterday, Elon Musk's X, formerly known as Twitter, according to the ladies at the Skim, sued the media watchdog group for defamation. Last week, Evil Media Matters published a report showing ads from companies like Disney and Apple supposedly appearing next to anti-Semitic content, no such thing, on X. The report was released around the same time that Elon Musk came under fire for backing a supposed anti-Semitic conspiracy theory online, which is also fake news. Now, X's lawsuit says the report drove advertisers away from the platform with maliciously manufactured side-by-side images and reportedly wants the report taken down. Media Matters says that they stand behind their reporting. The X lawsuit came the same day that Texas Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton said that he's too is investigating Media Matters for potential fraudulent activity. They are the scum of the earth, that's true. Riri's husband catching charges? ASAP Rocky. $AP Rocky's case is going to trial. A Los Angeles judge yesterday ruled the 35-year-old rapper will stand trial for allegedly shooting at a former friend in 2021. His real name is Terrell Efron, or A$AP Relly, they call him? I don't know. This is the ladies at the Skim. They're sloppy sometimes. Terrell Efron allegedly suffered minor injuries, is now seeking at least $25,000 in damages. Oh, A$AP Relly. Not to be confused with A$AP Relly, I guess. Rocky pleaded not guilty to 2 felony assault charges. He faces up to 9 years in prison if found guilty. I don't get that story. Free Trump speech. Coming on Sense Network, CNN reports a court will decide how much our greatest president, Trump, can criticize directly. So-called Jack Smith, the special counsel overseeing this federal 2020 election subversion case. Pots and kettles, right? Pots calling the kettle black. On Monday, a federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. heard oral arguments for 2 hours or more about the gag order issued against our greatest president by that so-called judge. Restricts Trump's ability to target court personnel publicly or witnesses or Jack Smith and his staff. Overall, the judges were skeptical of Trump's broad arguments that the gag order violated his free speech rights, but they may loosen some of the restrictions against him. The appeals court has temporarily frozen the order, a move that allowed Trump to continue his attacks on, metaphorically speaking, on the so-called special counsel and his so-called family. And AI, unintelligent employees may be exiting OpenAI, standing with Sam Altman, the CEO who was fired or something like that. More than 500 employees signed a letter threatening to quit over that mess. I don't get it. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. There is a line open. You can jump in at 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week: who or what are you trying to hold together? Who or what are you trying to hold together? Amazing question. You can listen to the show. You can podcast the show. Of course, you can listen live. But if you're busy, you can still be listening while you're doing what you're doing by calling the listen line on your cell phone or your iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us. Well, don't follow right now. Let me tell you this first, and then follow. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. Now you can follow us, subscribe, ring the bell, all kind of stuff. And then you can follow us on JLP Talk on X, JLP Talk on X, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, telephone, telegraph, and tell a woman. All right? To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com. It's the third hour. Every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Yeehaw. Thank you for letting me be myself, again. Sweet potato pie, but it was pumpkin disguising itself as a sweet potato.
I'm getting notes of sweet potato.
I'm going pumpkin.
Oh, come on.
Don't chew with your mouth open.
This has no taste.
Oh, come on.
I think you're foaming from the mouth if you have rabies, though, right?
You are foaming. Did you drink? Did you drink water today? Oh, anyway.
I gotta leave the
I'm
studio
trying.
right now.
I don't even know why.
Sean, I hate what you do. What the? Oh, man. Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. What a time, what a time, what a time. When all God's children get together, what a time. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What I want to do, let me take some calls, and then I got some news item, and we want to finish up with the super chats and all that kind of stuff going on. It's amazing. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving. Let me go quickly to Michael out of New York. Michael been waiting a while, too. Michael, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes. Hey Jesse. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you, Michael. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good. I just wanted to touch on the first hour of your show. I think it was terrific.
Michael, are you on a speakerphone or something?
No, I'm actually not. My phone might be a little weird, but I just wanted to comment on the stuff you said about the rich, Jesse.
About the rich?
Yeah, about the rich, about how their time is up. You know.
Oh, that guy. That's what. In the first hour, folks, we talked about some evil guy by the name of Tim Wise, and
Tim Wise.
He's the author.
Exactly.
And he was saying that for all y'all white folks, enjoy your champagne.
We're not running, Jesse. We're fighting, but this is a losing battle. I mean, I'm in New York, and it's just not good here anymore. And there's no fight to be had. I mean, I almost got carjacked the other day, and I've lived here my whole life, and I love black people, I love white people, I love all people, but the Jewish people are a problem.
When you say you were carjacked, what happened?
I was in Brooklyn. I do a bunch of shelters. I run a fire protection business here, and I do a bunch of homeless shelters. And they're great people. They're really good people. But there's some sketchy folks outside, and they just see that I'm white, and I try not to be white. I don't know. I don't exactly know how to do that, but there are times where it's just not good to be white. And
well, you say your car was almost jacked. What happened?
Yeah, a guy pulled up to me on a moped, and he was right at my window, and he wasn't letting me out, so I just basically had to just block him and just cut him off, and throw him off balance just to get the hell out of there.
Was he black?
I knew exactly. Yeah, he was black. I knew what he was doing. He was a young guy, and he was definitely gonna try to rob me or whatever. And it's the first time that's happened to me. I mean, I've had some close calls, but. I've been in some hallways and alleyways where I'm like, oh Jesus, I just shouldn't be here, But it's only since Biden took over. I mean, I'm 54 years old, and I've been here since 1985 when this place was a shithole. Excuse my language, but now it's just, I mean, it's unrecognizable. I mean, and it's not just it's people that are just let out of prison, Jesse. Straight up criminals. Because I've been to jail. So, I know what jail's like.
You white?
These guys what's that?
Are you white?
Oh, yes, I'm white, Jesse. Absolutely.
And you say you've been to jail. What you doing in jail? You white?
Oh, I've just got a bunch of DWIs in the past, as a kid, So I spent a week or two in jail, and it's just, it's not a place you want to be.
Are you Italian?
No, I'm German, Norwegian. Believe it or not, I'm married to an Italian though. My kids are Italian, my two boys. But
Hake was saying that he's not white. He's Italian, I think. Oh no!
Yeah, you're funny.
Darn!
You're funny. I'm a New Yorker, Jesse, and I can see how this is playing out. Biden installed a bunch of Jewish guys who really don't love this country. I mean, Anthony Blinken, Merrick Garland. I mean, and Alejandro Mayorkas. I mean, we could just go through the list. I mean, these people do not have our interests at heart. And,
I was going to ask you, what do you mean? What did you mean when you say it was a Jewish problem?
Well, the whole world's a Jewish problem right now, because they all happen to be Jewish. It's all by coincidence. I'm sorry. We're done with that bullshit because honestly, it's
you
so
can't be cursing on the radio, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
What
the?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how is the Jew your problem?
Well, he's my problem because he's making my life really, really difficult. He's making me the target in my own city, and he's making me unable to do business. Not all, but most. He really, I cannot work. I cannot think. I mean, honestly. And listen, I grew up with Jewish guys. They were my best friends, and they all screwed me over at one point.
Do you love the Jews?
It's really hard to love the Jews right now. It really is. It really is. I got to tell you, I'm trying to love the Jews.
So, do you love the Jews?
Oh, the Bible's telling me to love the Jews, and I'm really, really searching my heart, but it's tough. It's really tough. They make themselves really, really unlovable.
And so, do you love the Jews?
I'm trying, Jesse. I'm really, really trying.
And do you love the Jews?
I pray to God to love the Jews. I really do. I pray to Jesus to love the Jews.
And do you love the Jews?
I don't think I love the Jews right now. No, I'm nice.
Does God love the Jews?
I think God loves the Jews. Yes, absolutely. God. Absolutely
And are you a son of God?
God loves. Yes, I am a son of God.
So why don't you love the Jews too?
Oh, I'm trying. I really am trying. I had to quit a bunch. I quit a bunch of accounts because they just treat me like the worst possible person you can ever. You can't even imagine. It's just I'm without words because they just talk down to you and just treat you like hell and just piss all over you and say, come on, take some more, pay some more.
Well, here's what. If that is happening, that is evil. But don't hate them. Speak up, but don't resent. And that way, God will guide you out of your situation.
I stopped drinking, Jesse. I stopped drinking 10 days ago, and let me tell you something. It's changed my life completely. I went through a 4-day fast where I didn't eat any food. I went 96 hours straight, just drinking water and taking salt supplements, and it just cleared my head completely. And and then you know what? The devil's been on my back, Jesse. I promise you, he's been on my back because I found alcohol in my car a bunch of times. He's like sticking alcohol, and you know what? It's the Fireball too. It's got a little picture of the devil on it. And it really, like 3 days into my fast, I found a bottle of Fireball in my car. How the heck did that get there? Probably in one of my drunken stupors, I left a full bottle there.
Yeah.
And then I found it in the seat, and there was a picture of the devil. And
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about your biblical question about.
Okay. Let me ask you this first, and I'll let you. Let me ask this first. Who did you grow up closest to, your mother or your father?
My father. I forgave, but he left us at a really young age. He had a second family, and he moved to South Africa. So I didn't really have a relationship.
So you grew up close to your mother?
Yeah, I grew up close to my mother, who was just a real screw up. She was kind of She was a flighty woman. I loved her, but she was just, she was into tarot cards and black magic and just, never paid taxes in her life and just kind of flew by the seat of her pants. But she found God, when she was, she got cancer she got ovarian cancer at 60, and then she went back to church and found Jesus, and and I did forgive her, which was. You
forgave? You told her?
Oh yeah, I told her. Yeah, her and I talked before she died, a bunch of times, and we were kind of estranged because she presented so many problems in my life with my wife, and basically trying to break up my family, all that nonsense, But we're strong. I've been married 24 years, and.
Does your wife obey you?
She does now. She didn't in the past, but she cheated on me about 10 years into our marriage, so we almost didn't make it, but I kind of got her back, so which I'm not feeling good about either, But
you're not feeling good about?
Nah, I mean, I've made so many mistakes. I'm completely flawed, and
So you took her back, but you're not feeling good about taking her back?
Oh no, hell no! I honestly, I question it every day why I took her back. Even after 12 years. I mean, she hasn't cheated on me in 12 years, and I still hate her guts. So. I still hate her guts, Jesse. And she knows it, too. But, I love her to death, but I hate her
You
guts.
can't love and hate her.
Oh, sure you can. Absolutely. We can have all these emotions, Jesse. It's no problem,
Oh, how is it that she know that you hate her?
Oh, I tell her kind of, probably too often, We just got past a big old fight, but, as always, we make up, so.
You tell her that you hate her?
You know what? Because we're stronger together, In the end, we're stronger together, Cause
how are you stronger together?
Because we split up and the world just eats us up, that just everybody comes in, the vultures come in and just pick up the carcasses, and I just don't want to do that to my boys, even though they're adults at this point, I'm just not going to screw them in this world.
But do you hear yourself? You say, I love her to death, but I hate her.
I do. I have both emotions. I probably feel equally the same. Like I love her as much as I hate her, but 'cause I hate what she did. I hate what she did, and you hear that. Oh, I put that behind me, and that's in the past. That's a bunch of crap. You get cheated on. You're screwed for life, especially when you're married. Unless you don't stay with her. And then you're still screwed.
How does she know you hate her? You tell her?
Yeah, I kind of tell her probably more than I should.
What do you tell her when you say?
Well, every time we get in a fight that's not a regular fight that's controllable, a fight that kind of escalates and becomes more than it should. I just default to you're a whore. So I know it's not good. It's not good. I just disqualify her by calling her a whore. So it's
and what does she do when you call her a hoe?
She's a pretty strong girl. She'll fight me, to the death. I mean, which is not good. So I have to be careful. She'll call me a drunk or whatever, but she can't do that anymore.
And so, who give you more problem, your wife or the Jews?
Oh man, probably my. It's a good question. I think it's about dead even, Jesse. But the Jews are definitely giving me problems.
Oh, so do you hate the Jews too?
Yeah, pretty. Nah, yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. I said that before. I do. I mean,
You hate them.
I stopped hating him as much when I stopped drinking. That's for sure, and I believe that's no coincidence.
Right on.
Because when you drink and your mind's all confused and you're just angry and that's that. I always think about what you say too about they're trying to get you angry, and I still get angry. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I know what they're doing, and I'm still reacting. And it's just I just need to, and I've been stopping that. It's been working. Believe it or not.
Do you know who Norm MacDonald is?
Yes, I do know who Norm MacDonald is. Yes, he died recently, didn't he?
You sound like him.
That's funny.
Your voice sounds like his.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so there's something else you want to ask about the biblical question, you say?
Yeah, what am I trying to keep together?
Who or what are you trying to hold together?
Hold together, yes. That's my family, like we've been discussing, So,
And why are you trying to hold them together?
Because I think my sons are, just way immature for their ages.
How old are they?
20 and 19.
Oh, okay. Are they out on their own?
No, they're not.
They both are home?
Yeah, they're both home.
Why you let them stay there?
Good question. It's a really good question. Well, at first it was, because they were working and going to school, but now neither one of them were working. So, and the school has, become, gone from full time to, drop this class, drop that class. And they just sit around, smoking pot, and I come home and just throw the weed out. And,
they just sit around smoking pot? Speak up for me.
Yeah, they're sitting around smoking pot, playing video games, and, just telling me, I don't know what the hell they're telling me. I think they want me out of the house, actually, so they can abuse their mother. Because she's Italian, and Italian women, they don't really know how to mother.
And so if you love them, why don't you throw them out so that they can grow up?
Well, because they're bigger than me, and I'd have to get the cops involved, and,
Why don't you?
Because I can't arrest them, Jesse. I can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know. I can't lock them up, I just can't.
But they don't have to be locked up. They just need to be thrown out of your house.
Yeah, I can do that, but I'd have to do that through the courts, and I don't know.
But they're grown-ups now. They're not children.
No, they're not. They're not. They are grown-ups.
But
it's a problem. It's definitely a problem, because they're disrespectful, and I just,
But that's why they're disrespectful, because they don't respect you and your mother, you and your wife, and their mother, because you guys don't make them grow up. You let them do what they want in the home rather than throwing them out. How can you respect someone like that?
Exactly. No, I know exactly what the problem is. I just don't know what the solution is.
I just told you.
Yeah, but throw them out, I don't know.
if you love them, Michael, you throw them out so they can grow up.
Yeah.
What kind of father let his grown children stay in their home and don't work? All they do is sit around a smoke pot, and they hate you and the mother because you won't make them grow up.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Jesse. You know, what I've been asking myself over and over again. You know, I tend to default on blaming myself there as well. You know,
It is your fault because you didn't raise them to be independent, and now you're letting them sit there as grown ups doing nothing. It's going to only get worse for the whole household.
I know. Yeah, it's something to consider for sure.
Michael, if you love them, you will make them get out. Don't be angry, but just put them out because it's your fault that you've allowed that to happen. But it's their fault if they don't overcome it.
Right. I mean, I know only too well what being, asked to leave your home can do for you. I was asked to leave my home at 18 years old, and I made a success out of myself as much as I could, with the cards that I was dealt.
So why don't you do the same thing with your sons?
Yeah. Well, how do I do it without creating a violent, craziness in the house,
Just say to them, you know what, y'all got to go. I apologize for not making this happen a long time ago. It's time for y'all to grow up. You got to get out of here. I give you 1 month. And in 1 month, if you don't get out, I'm going to have you thrown out. And they get mad. Don't you get mad back. Just let them be mad because they're mad at you and the mother because y'all have not made them grow up. And just tell them you got to go, but don't get angry. And if they have not moved out in a month, you throw them out.
Well, I've made that beginning motion towards them, with those ultimatums, but they don't take me serious,
Well, then this time, show them that you're serious.
Their mother will go behind my back and just, make deals with them. And,
yeah. But you tell the whore to shut up and sit down.
That's kind of funny. I'm not going to let her listen to this. I'll keep this one between us, huh? Yeah, I mean, I do, but that just creates more craziness, like this violence begets violence,
But don't you get violent. You don't have to fight with her at all.
Right, I don't have to. See, that's my point. I don't have to get violent. I realized that when I stopped drinking that.
Come back to your phone.
What's that?
Come back to your phone.
Oh yeah. What I'm saying is, I realize that when I'm calm, that I still get these same reactions. They'll still work themselves up and make things up and fabricate things in their head. Like for instance, my oldest son just accused me of hitting him in the face when I grabbed his shirt and grabbed his phone because he was having one of his autistic outbursts. And he, whether he's autistic or not, he certainly acts like it at times.
Michael, things are not going to change until you change. And what I recommend is that you do the silent prayer so you can come out of your thoughts. And all thoughts are all lies all the time. Stay away from anger and take control of your household.
I agree, Jesse. It's good advice.
Let me know how it goes.
I definitely will. Happy Thanksgiving, Jesse. Keep up the good work. I love the first hour of the show. It was amazing. Great stuff. I agree with all the sentiments that you put out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. I wish you well, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. I wish you well, Jesse, as well. Thank you.
And call me again.
Absolutely. Be well.
All right, buddy. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Brandy. There's one line open for Brandy out of Hawaii. Brandy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning, Brandy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
I'm calling because I get really bad anxiety just waiting on hold to talk to you. And just to, speaking out loud, it, feels like there's, I don't know how to describe it, but it hurts really bad.
What hurts?
Just the pain of just sitting on hold, waiting to speak out loud, that I have something I want to say that by the time I get on to talk out loud, not just with you, but if I'm doing a video even and I want to say something.
Right.
By the time I come to say it, I get flustered so much that I forget what I want to say because I'm so nervous. Is that, you know what I mean?
I get so emotional, baby, every time I feel you. Here's what you do, Brandon. Just calm down. You're in your head. The thoughts are lying to you. You're believing the thoughts, and the emotions are verifying the thoughts. And just let it pass. You're fine. It's not you. But do it anyway, no matter what the thoughts and feelings are telling you, because you're not your thoughts, you're not the feeling, and that way you go through them, and on the other side is freedom.
So I do that.
Yeah, so you'll be fine.
And it's kind of funny because I've done that my whole life.
From now on, don't call it, I feel frustrated. I feel afraid. It's not you, so stop identifying with it.
Okay, gotcha. So one time I was doing the silent prayer, like back in March, and I was, I live in Hawaii, so I have a lot of beauty around me. Right. And I was already kind of doing some videos, like of the beaches and stuff with some music in the background. So one day I'm doing the silent prayer, and you were talking about how, to speak up and, I'm just wondering, how do you know when you should speak up on, like when you should maybe start a YouTube channel on speaking up, but using beauty as a background? You know what I mean?
Well, stay present and you'll know. Don't be in your head about it, worried about it, thinking about it, about what might happen, what has happened. Stop living in the illusion of time and stay present, and you will know all things. But you got to stay present rather than in your head, because the devil lives in your imagination, and he'll convince you not to do anything if you live in the past or future, or he'll make you make the wrong decision about whatever if you live in the past or the future. Just stay present and not in your head.
Okay, so maybe I am doing the right thing.
Yeah,
so I
and
post stuff a lot on like Facebook.
But listen, don't make anything a big deal. Nothing in life is a big deal. Zero.
Okay.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes.
Every morning, every night?
Uh-huh. And throughout the day, I go in and out of just quiet time, and that's why I think I'm doing the right thing. But the thoughts and that, when I go to post something, Jesse, I'm going to have to tell you the truth. I've been posting your monologue since March. Like, I drive to work. I drive really far. I have like a 2-hour drive, and I restart your monologue, and I video it, and I've been posting it. And people were liking my stuff until I started posting it. But I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not making any money off of it. But it seems like maybe I'm waking people up.
Did you get that? You didn't get the job at the school closer to your home?
You remember me. No, not yet. But I got a letter saying that I was a great candidate, and I think I'm going to hear back probably pretty soon.
Oh, so they haven't decided yet, so.
Yeah, but I have been going that direction.
Oh, good. I hope you get it.
Me too. I'm just kind of walking on water. Sometimes I fall in and get all wet, but then I try to jump back up.
Yeah.
And
that's right. I don't care how many times you fall down. Just get up. Don't judge it. Just get up and don't give up. You'll be fine, Brandy.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. Amazing.
All right, thank you.
Bye now. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, more of your calls and super chats. Back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother, who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. All right, folks, I want to encourage you, of course, but do what you want. You can really, really be free of all your misery, all of your misery, all of your fears, your loneliness, your doubts, your worries, your insecurity, your jealousy, your envy and strife, your revenge. You don't have to live that way. It will be taken away from you if you want to let go of it. But it's up to you. And I promise you, your issue is never, ever, ever, and never has been, can't be, will not be, is not going to, ain't going to be about race. And your issue with other people is your issue. It has nothing to do with them at all. It's in you. It's in your mind, your emotions, your world. And once you overcome it, you're going to want to beat yourself up because you're going to wonder, why would I what was wrong with me that I was letting someone else's issues into my world and making me think that they were my problem, and they're not. You have a choice to take control of your own world. You are the world. And that's for all human beings. Jews, Christians, Gentiles, everybody. You are your own world. Nobody else is your problem as adults. And you don't have to let them in your world. You don't have to let their issues in your world or anything. Don't take sides. Never take a side, ever, ever, ever again. It's enough to see what's going on, but you're wrong when you take sides. You're weak and pathetic. That's why you do it, because you can't stand alone. And standing alone is not something you can do on your own. All right? It's up to you. And man, you need to get out as an adult, 18 and over, you need to get away from home. Don't let your mama or your daddy tell you, oh, just stay, you just heard Michael. His adult sons hate him and the mama. The mama talking them against the father, and the father too weak to get him out. And now they just sit around according to Michael and smoke pot all the time. Because they have not been made to develop that inner thing that God gives us all to go out into the world, deal with issues, and grow. Really. Anyway, the Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake, H-A-K-E report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And then at 11 a.m., the JLP Friday TV, black, at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today, all right? I know Christmas time is coming up. My books are available. They are amazing books. And yes, I will sign them. From Raised to Responsibility, the first book I wrote, From Raised to Responsibility, and then Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America, How Black Leadership Exploits Black America, and the 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Side. We'll have those books reprinted up, but you can get them, the 7 Guaranteed Steps, available on Kindle and audiobook. Kindle and audio. So go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores and click. There's a link there from Amazon.com where you can purchase the book. And then the antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. Amazing book. And I will sign them to whomever you want to. You order soon, you'll get them soon. Be there for Christmas. Amazing, huh? And again, if you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. By phone, Skype, or walk-in. Go call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to make an appointment, or go to rebuildingtheman.com to make an appointment. All right? Super chat. Super
Chats.
Canadian David is a monthly subscriber on J.C. Lee Peterson Rumble.
Thank you.
Saying, just realized the dog, LOL, lots of laughs. What the?
Who let the dogs out? Looking over the land.
Stan69 with a couple of diamonds. Where do you get all those miniature figures and things? When can we buy the JLP figure in the merch store?
We're working on it. Right, Hassan?
TBA.
Yes, sir. Christmas special.
TBA.
Christmas 2024.
Is it going to be Christmas 2023?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
if people are, put the pre-orders up now.
Oh, amazing. Where? Rebuilding the Man?
$25,000 a piece?
Yeah, exactly. It's more than just the action figure.
There you go. Amazing. We'll let you know, though. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, what is the difference between what you call begging when other people ask for help and what you are doing asking for money for new computer equipment? Just because the equipment isn't for you personally doesn't mean it isn't begging, says this person buying you a coffee. Your favorite question to people is, what's wrong with you? You can't do it on your own. Now it's your turn to ask for help. Is suddenly okay?
Now it's your turn.
Have you thought about giving some bake sales, washing some cars, etc.? Go earn the money.
Nice. One is begging and one is asking. Thank you.
Nice.
Amazing.
Someone bought a coffee. I heard someone argue that asking for a $15 an hour wage was too much because when they were a kid, they made $6 an hour in the 70s. If you simply adjust for inflation and nothing else, that $6 an hour would have been the equivalent of over $20 today, and he was against 15 because of what he made when he started working. You can't make this stuff up.
Amazing. Thank you.
We should get rid of minimum wage entirely.
Yeah, absolutely. How the government going to tell you how much you should pay somebody? What?
They're causing it. Wow, Jesse, is that you and a German Shepherd? Now that's a manly dog. Dog emoji. My favorite. If I ever want a dog, that's a Nazi dog.
That's not Lassie.
Hassan Yeezy's dog is for decoration purposes. He's just quiet and cute. Do you like pecan pie with coffee? Hank is a honky cracker 2023. Good thing we're not streaming on Twitch. Sion with the slurs.
What?
Cute. I said Sion with the slurs.
That's Sion right there?
Yeah, she's the one who did the coffees.
Thank you.
Greenwall with a diamond. Jesse, can you interview a Buddhist master, please?
What's a Buddhist master, please?
Buddhist master. Please, please.
Oh. What's a Buddha? I don't know what a Buddha master is.
Buddhist master? I hadn't heard of a Buddhist master either. You have interviewed a Buddhist monk before. Remember,
right.
he sat on the He sat on the
floor.
blanket
Yeah.
on the floor of the stage.
What'd you say a Buddha master is?
Okay, like
A monk.
Oh.
like you know, kind of like.
If I could find one. But I did interview a Buddhist before he sat on the floor at on the fatherstate.tv. Check it out. But we'll look into it. Thank you.
Sion, buy another coffee. White people are focusing on the wrong things. That's why this country is gone. They invest so much time and energy on stupid NFL when those people don't even respect the flag. Which one do you want, freedom or entertainment? Pick.
That's a good point. They got to pick freedom or entertainment. You got to make up your mind. Because these folks are taking the white people's freedom away, all our freedom really, but the white people's freedom away from them. Amazing. Thanks, Sion.
Someone bought a coffee, calling into a radio show to complain about the real criminals making the city worse, only to, quote unquote, real criminals, only to find out you've been to jail several times yourself. You've had hatred towards others, and your grown kids live at home smoking pot all day. Pot, meat, kettle.
Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Thank you. Let me go to Steve out of New Jersey, 888-775-3773. Hey, Steve, you're on the air.
How's it going, Jesse?
All is well.
So I have a quick question. Is it normal, because I'm seeing this a lot on social media, for Christians to always get like offended or just outraged or always have a reaction to anything?
If any Christian has reaction to anything or ever get offended, they're not a Christian. If you're a true Christian, it's impossible to be offended, and it is impossible to overreact to anything. It's impossible. Impossible. That's what you are to me. Impossible, yeah. So, no, it's not possible.
Because I asked that question because as I'm becoming more aware of stuff over time, the things that I used to get like reactions to, like on social media, you scroll through X and, you know, there's girls putting their, you know, themselves out there, or a guy dressed up like a girl and all this other stuff. And years ago, I'd be like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. And now I look through it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's not apathy. It's just like I definitely see myself as like, all right, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I constantly see, and this is the danger. I just realized this like the other day, because I used to kind of put, you know, some of these like Christian commentators and conservative people on this pedestal, like, oh, they must have so much God in them. They're so holy. And all I would do is see them like constantly being outrageous, and I would take that and have that thought of, if I see this, you know, I got to act that way. And so I'm starting to realize, I'm like, it's actually not normal to have any reaction to any of that stuff because it's judgment.
Not only is it not normal to have a reaction to it, it is not possible, because any reaction you give to anything or offended to, you are worshiping the devil. You're overreacting, and the devil is your God. So once you're born of the Father, you cannot overreact. There's no one there to be offended, so how can you be offended if there's no one there? And that's one thing you do realize after a while, that there's no you. All these identities you thought were you were not you. And so they start to fall away. And if you don't have those identities, how can you be offended? If you don't think, oh, I'm holy, or if you don't think I'm not holy, if you don't think I'm this and I'm that, I have a reputation, I have this. If you don't think you have those things, then there's nothing there to offend. Thank you,
That's
Steve.
interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
I appreciate it. Anything else?
I just wanted to actually just say really quick, because I used to work with Jewish people, and actually I still work for Jewish people now. And I used to like work with rich, elite Jewish people, like people who would know, if I mentioned names, like they would know. And years ago, I ended up seeing like they're miserable, and that's why like I can't get behind this whole taking sides. Like I understand where people come from the argument. I'm not disagreeing with it, but I totally understand that at the end of the day, like they're still going through the same stuff. And it's like, if you're not coming from the place of love, you'll miss that.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's where this whole thing is getting lost because, you know, why can't I be in a position where if I'm around those people I used to work with ever again, and I'm just being myself and doing myself and, you know, and just kind of living as I'm supposed to be, like, why can't I just be that example of what love really is?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they kind of maybe have the chance to turn around and say, hey, there is something in me, instead of always people blaming like, oh, they're so evil controlling our world. But they're only that way because they allowed evil to get to that point. And, you know, they're no different than me when I allowed evil to kind of take over me.
And the people who are trying to blame the Jews for whatever the Jews are doing and saying that they're being affected by it or the Jews took this, they're blinded themselves, and that's why they're being affected, because when you overcome the world, you can't be affected. And just because the Jews have money doesn't mean they have peace, and you would know that because you will understand that when you had this or that, it didn't cause you to have peace, so you will have the same love for the Jews that you will have for anyone. But people who does those things don't have love, and that's why it's so easy for them to point the finger and blame someone else.
Right, because I think as you become closer to God, and I'm seeing this from my own life, you know, in the fallen state, I blamed everybody for a lot of the things that I was in. And I understand, like, in this world, there is influence by people, you know, in certain ways. Like, you could look at it at a local level, a federal level, and all these different ways. But if you come from love, God's going to show you how to kind of navigate around that anyway.
Yeah,
and
you won't be
noticing.
influenced by the world if you're not of the world anymore.
Right. And that's why I just find it fascinating when everyone's kind of complaining and freaking out about this one topic in this situation, when they really could just kind of, you know, give everything up, like you say, lay your weapons down, and the path is right there in front of you, and it's like, wow,
yeah,
I didn't see this because I wasn't paying attention.
100%, absolutely. That's why I laugh at the people that think that they're better than the Jews, and they're pointing the finger at the Jews, not seeing themselves. And I realize they just don't see themselves, so you can't do anything about that either, because if they were to see themselves, there would be no way they would take sides or point the finger at the Jews. Or the whites point the finger at the Jews, or the blacks at the white. The finger stuff would end if the individual can see what's going on with themselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Steve. Amazing call. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right. Amazing. He's right, folks. You can't help but laugh at the blind pointing their finger at the blind. What's up? Rick, there's a line open, 888-775-3773. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Jesse? Everybody in their mom was listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show for Knowledge Today, brother.
Thank you, Rick. Come closer to your phone, Rick.
Can you hear me now, Jesse?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's better.
What about now? Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can. Go ahead, Rick.
Yes. You heard about the social working scales in D.C. They lowering the scales to help the blacks out.
Well, I haven't heard about that, but I'm not surprised. One of the greatest problems in our country is that the whites have lowered the standards in order to try to appease the blacks, and it only making the blacks worse, and it making the standard of America worse. And so I didn't know about that, but I'm not surprised to hear it.
Yeah, they lowered the social working scores in D.C. because the blacks couldn't pass the test.
Amazing.
The whites passed the test the most, and then the Asian, then the Hispanics, and then blacks. So I think they're going to do away with the test to help the blacks out. Now, Jesse, I'm an HVAC guy by trade. Now, I have gotten my experience mostly through on-the-job training. However, we got to take a test to get our journalism or master license. I'm not afraid to take the test, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, because when you take the test and pass, that shows that you can study for what you need to get your life. That means you have some discipline, some kind of, you know?
Yeah. In the good old days, the blacks would have never considered or allowed anybody to lower a test score or change the test so that they can pass. The blacks were not built that way back then. They didn't have any leaders. They were leaders of their own lives. They weren't begging and blaming. And that would have never happened before the Civil Rights Movement. That only came about. Blacks turned away from...
The Democratic Party keeps the blacks in control. Once they see that the blacks are trying to wake up, they'll scream racism, or you either see a police brutality somewhere to get them back on the plantation.
Yeah, they don't... And I can no longer, though I'll mention it sometime, I no longer blame the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party is not to blame for the action of adults. And black people are adults. They are adults, and they have decided that they want to stay on the plantation of the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party give them free stuff. They tell them they don't have to earn their way. They lower the test scores. They remove the test scores. Whatever they need they tell the blacks to go out and riot. They would do it. Burn down the country. They would do it, and then they reward them by giving them something free and telling them they don't have to earn it.
You interviewed a guy named the Amazing Lucas one time, and he used to be pretty conservative now, but man, he is just woke. Man, he's woke now, man.
Amazing.
You interviewed him one time. Yeah, Amazing Lucas.
Amazing.
You interviewed him. You interviewed him one time, and man, he just was woke.
Well,
you ain't for reparations. You a sandbar or something. He be saying.
Well, it's unfortunate that the blacks are begging like that. We saw it with the air traffic controllers and all kind of things. But Rick, I got to run, man. I appreciate your call.
Okay, Justin. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed, man.
You too, buddy. Thank you. Let me give you an example of what it's going to take to turn this country around, if that was possible. The only hope for our country right now is Donald Trump. CNN, this is soundbite 21D. CNN, Donald Trump wants to revive many of his immigration policies. I'm sorry, 21D, yeah. Donald Trump wants to revive many of his immigration policies to restrict both legal and illegal immigration. If elected in 2024, he is planning a widespread expansion of his immigration policy, including rounding up undocumented immigrants already in the U.S. and placing them in detention camps to await deportation. Watch this from Forbes and X.
Job number one will be to stop the invasion on our southern border. We had the best numbers we've ever had in the history of our country, and now we have the worst numbers probably in the history of the world. There's never been a border like this. When you see what's coming in from mental institutions and prisons all over the world. And they're coming from China. 16% come from China. Why are they all young and strong, mostly men? It's got to stop, and we've got to have the largest mass deportation effort in history. We're going to. The inauguration is, you're down and you're walking up these beautiful stairs to Capitol, everything's so beautiful. As I'm walking up, I'll be signing about 4 or 5 different documents. I'm not going to wait to get to the end. I may even have a very tiny little desk put on the 20th stair.
That's the man we need back in the White House. Donald Trump will make America great again. But if you don't get Donald Trump, you can hang it up. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. My time is up right now. Tomorrow is Wednesday Manhood Hour. The Hake Report is coming up now. Joy Friday after the Hake Report, and the Anchor Baby, American Anchor Baby after Joy Friday TV. You bet. Go and forgive your mama, your daddy. Do the silent prayer. Do not be afraid to let the anger go. Go through the anger so you can see by the light, by the love of God. We need light in the world for all people, including the Jews. We need light in the world, folks. Christ came as the light of the world. And we can be the same way, but we got to return to the Father. Thank you for your support to update our equipment. Go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. We got to raise $25,000. Let's get it done real fast, folks. Thank you. And the Hake Report is coming up now. Have a good day. I know we can find. Amazing.
You must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding to lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.
Thank you, JLP, for an excellent Jesse